Hi everybody and welcome to Indigo Sky Holistic. My name is Davina Ketzen. I'm an intuitive energy healer, holistic practitioner and also a home educating mum of three. So I always put that in there because I almost always end up bringing something about that side of my life into what I talk about, because fundamentally one of the things that I am is endeavouring to be is a whole human in my experience here on the planet. And that means not putting myself in a box here and a box here and a box there, and more learning to embody all of my being all at the same time, which is a little bit challenging and maybe not for everybody, but let's talk about what I'm here to talk about today. So this may be controversial, but hey, yeah, I'm nothing if I'm not controversial. So I was reading today some thoughts on neurodivergence. Not a word I like to use. If you ever hear me discussing those traits that are defined by many or by the mainstream, particularly the medical profession, as neurodivergence, you'll probably hear me call it neuromagical or something similar. I've recreated phrases for the acronyms of things like ADHD. My favourite ADHD acronym is Attention Directed Hyperfocus Dreamer. And I've said there's another one that somebody shared once that also resonated, but I can't remember that one. Anyway, this was discussions on neurodivergence and what is often referred to as calling those traits that make people's brains different to a box somebody wanted to put them in. We'll come to that first, actually. But yeah, it was a discussion on people calling those traits superpowers, because I'm going to put myself in that category who thinks that people with those traits of neuromagicality as being people with superpowers. But then let's just put a pin in that and say we all have superpowers. We are all supernatural. We are all super powerful, and we are all creating our reality and have an energetic field that is actually capable of creating this whole life experience that we're living in. But that's for a whole other subject. And right now I want to talk about this idea that we are superhuman, superpowers, when we have these traits that people have somewhere along the line decided were divergent from the norm or the typical. So first of all, I don't believe in neurodivergence as the mainstream medical profession have labelled it. Don't get triggered. I do believe that everybody has a different neurological makeup. I do think that there are things that many people have going on neurologically that are different from certain boxes that certain people in some element of systemic control want people to be aware of. So because of these traits that are powerful, these traits that are a little like for many with these traits, they are overstimulated, picking up on energies that are unseen, that they can't explain, or have gut feelings and intuitive knowings that they can't explain to somebody else, because we all have our own inner workings of energy, brain, heart, soul going on. And so somewhere along the line, someone in some place of wanting to control humanity, seeing that there was more and more people who were not able to be controlled in this way, or an increasing number of people feeling overstimulated by or struggling with sitting still in a room and looking at a blackboard, being able to focus on one subject at a time that's not interesting to them. Because I will say, speaking from experience of those hyper-focused traits, when there's a interest, people who are often described as being attention deficit are actually hyper-focused. And I've seen that time and time again with people who are labelled as ADHD, attention deficit, or ADD, are actually completely capable of being hyper-focused on things that are really magically and powerfully interesting to them, to the extent that they will totally miss and forget everything else, from bathing, brushing their teeth, washing themselves, eating, going to the bathroom, making themselves physically ill as a consequence of those things, sleeping. So because someone somewhere wanting to control humanity, and I'm not going to say anything about who this might be, labeling people or groups of people or entities or beings or whatever. I'm not going to label any of that right now. Again, another video, another time, maybe. Someone somewhere wanted to control the people, and the best way to control people is to make people think there's something wrong with them, and maybe possibly can be fixed by a pill, a medicine, a doctor, somebody, a psychologist, psychiatrist, somebody who knows more than you, because you can't possibly know everything that you need to know to live your life. Somebody else has got to know more that can teach you. They began to create these terms, neurotypical and neurodivergent, which then make anyone who doesn't fit into the norm of what someone's defined as norm, divergent, different, potentially, going further down the line, broken. Here's where what I believe is controversial comes into play. There is no neurodivergence, because what's going on in the brains of people who have those traits is just different and potentially magical and powerful. And that is because they are connected more deeply, and since this starts usually with small children, connecting more deeply, children under 7, young people under 7, little humans before they reach the age of 7, are more connected to their energetic frequency, to source creation, and to their soul. They know shit that we as adults can't see, can't hear, can't feel, just like animals can. And, you know, we accept that animals have a stronger sense of hearing and a stronger ability to see, can see further and have a perception of things going on. When your dog perks its ears up when you're at the other end of the road, we think, oh, it's because it's got keen hearing. We don't think, oh, it's because it's psychic and it knows that you're walking down the road. No, it's keen hearing, yeah. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe it's energetically and intuitively just sensing that you are at the other end of the road. Those little people, young ones, tiny humans under the age of 7 are the same. And so when they're telling their mums and dads, very mainstream, very like in the systems, education system, medical system, political system, whatever, have a little one come up to them and go, I can hear things that are not there. Get them to a doctor straight away. Got to be something wrong. Or they're like, can't explain themselves and they're mute and they're not happy, or they throw themselves on the floor because they can't handle overstimulation of the noise in their head that they can't see a source for. The mums and dads, through no fault of their own, feel like there's something wrong. And of course, what do we all do when there's something wrong? we are inclined to go and seek somebody who knows something about the thing. Unfortunately, what then becomes a pattern is people not just giving their power away to doctors who also don't know shit about this shit. They really don't. They're just making it up as they go along as well. They're just working it out as they go along as well. They, with a corrupted system that doesn't bring energetics into it, let's not hide that. The modern medical system, it doesn't consider energetics a real thing, doesn't look at astrology, the cosmos, the energy of the universe and the magnetism of the planet, and consider that may be impacting these little human beings that are walking around the world going, there's too much going on, I can't take it in. These little ones are taken to see a medical professional who then says, oh yeah, there's a neurodivergence here and we can either, look at alternative means to navigate it, put into place structures and routines to try and fix the system, or in some cases medicate it with things that are known to deaden the connections between what's here inside physically and what's out there energetically and electrically. That medication is shown and proven to do that. So take from that what you want. They're trying to dumb down these really highly intuitive little beings who are still connected to source, connected to energy creation, connected to their souls and their rememberings of what their soul is here to do and what their previous experiences of their soul have been. They want to deaden it down, numb it down, dumb it down. Just think about that for a minute. When there's a little one who's got these traits, these magical traits, think about what's being done to them by the system that says there's something wrong with them when there isn't. And I know there's a big push for pointing out that there's nothing broken about somebody with neurodivergence, but why label it with a word that really drastically means divergent? It's used in a way to be negatively portrayed. And I know divergent doesn't necessarily mean negative, but if you've got neurotypical and that's the thing on the pedestal, that's the thing that we're all striving to be, and then you're not that thing, so you're divergent from that, that's the good. We kind of work in polarities. What's that one? Doesn't necessarily have to be said that it is, but subconsciously that's the programming that then goes into these little ones' brains. You're divergent, therefore you're not typical. You're not the good thing. You're not the good little girl or boy who'll sit in the class and pay attention, who knew everything seems to be easy for, which, bear in mind, sometimes it's not, because sometimes they're masking their traits because they've learned how to at a very young age. So when we say that we believe that these young ones, these little ones with these traits of sensory knowingness have superpowers, that's what we mean. We mean that they are intuitively aware of stuff that nobody else can understand, that nobody else knows about. That's a superpower. That's a superpower I'm fucking proud to have. I don't want to be labelled as somebody who's got a broken brain or who's divergent. I don't want to be labelled as that. I don't accept that label. But I know that my brain doesn't work like a typical brain. I know I have superpowers. I have an ability to perceive things differently to those other people around me. And I have an ability to read things that are not there in the physical. And I have an ability to see things when I close my eyes that are not even in the physical. Like the bones in my daughter's leg or the brain in a client's head. I can see those things when I close my eyes. Not always, but sometimes I can. That's extrasensory perception. That's a real thing. And that's what some of these little people are dealing with to a larger degree, because they're really taking in things in a different way. And we can't perceive that. Like, they studied cats and dogs and flies and can know that they see things differently. But if they studied in that way, these little humans who are sensing this, now there's some studies go into it and some things that are fortunately coming forward around that. But let's not fight for our limitations and fight for having a broken brain. Let's fight for or stand up with our superpowers, our supernatural abilities, those things that someone somewhere who wants to control humanity has said are not real, but they're not actually truly impacting us. And whether you want to believe that's astrology, whether you want to believe that's the I Ching, whether you want to believe that is the energy system, the chakra system, the meridian channels of the body, whatever it is that you want to believe that is, there's an element of truth in that for generations, thousands of years, people have followed and known. That's the foundation and the basis of traditional Chinese medicine. It's the foundation and basis of Ayurveda. It's the foundation and basis of many of the secluded monasteries and secluded cultures of the world. It's the basis of shamanism. It's the basis of Native American medicine and Native Aboriginal medicine. Those people know things that someone somewhere along the line has taken away from us, predominantly in the Western world, and labelled in such a way that makes those of us who talk about it labelled, we hate the fucking labels, as being stupid, as being talking rubbish, as being making things up, as being pseudoscience, made up science, not real. There is a lot that is coming to light at the moment. That's actually what the astrology says. That is what the cosmos is telling us, that it's going to happen. You can either stand with it and allow it to flow through you and sit there and go, whoa, what is this trying to tell me? Or you can keep fighting against it and feel all the time like someone is trying to tell you you're broken, you are limited, you are restricted, you need somebody else to fix you. I am not here as an intuitive healer to fix anybody. I am here to open up their own power so that they can step into that power, know their super magical powers and properties and abilities, and step into that. That's why I'm here on this planet right now. Not many people even know I exist, but that's why I'm here. And there are many like me also doing the same activation for humanity. So that's my little rant for today that just popped up because I'm not here to fight for my limitations. I'm not here to keep playing small. I am not here to keep pretending like things I know, literally know to the core of my being are real and true, are made up. Because, yeah, I'm done with that. And I'm here to empower particularly those smaller, younger, open little humans to continue to know their energetic power is absolutely on point and knows what's right for them. And that started with my own daughters when one of them was going, I can see things in the distance a long way away. And my husband pointed out that maybe, just maybe, she was discussing or talking about her clairvoyant abilities. And whilst many parents will dismiss them or just, not cultivate them, I stopped saying anything that they ever said about what they could see that I couldn't, what they could feel that I couldn't. Always allowed them to go with their intuition, with food, with drink, with who they see, where they go, what they do. Always allowing them to follow their own inner guidance system with support and guidance from an adult, so that they don't do anything that's going to end up with them walking into a road or jumping off a cliff, so that they feel safe and supported, but listened to and learn and know that they can trust themselves. That's my experience with my daughters. Leaving them to grow and develop and not feel like there's something broken or wrong about them. Learning to empower themselves with these traits that they all have, to know how to navigate this crazy, insane world that we live in with them, so that they can live wholesome, normal lives with whatever society out there still says is how we should be, act, behave and think, whilst also being able to stay in their power and their control of their own energy and well-being. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, wherever you're watching this. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment and subscribe. Do all those things. Maybe give it a little share with anybody who you think it will resonate with. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.